welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to share some things that I found at the thrift, the liquidation bins, and a few other places to show you what exactly I sell online to make a living. But first, let's talk about how is everybody doing with the Poshmark drama? Did everybody survive? Is everybody here? Is anyone still banned? I was fortunate enough to not be affected by that. I don't know if it was pure luck or if it's because I only maybe relisted about 10 items a day. I'm not sure exactly why I was spared, because I do delist a lot per day because, you know, I could sell on eBay, I could sell on Mercari, and eBay is my biggest platform. And then I, of course, take it off of Poshmark. And I kept doing that, even risking being banned, because I didn't feel like I wanted to mark things not as sold. I just didn't want to throw off my rhythm. So I said, you know what, if Poshmark bans me, that's fine. I guess I'll fight it. But I was lucky enough not to be affected by that. But I was curious if any of you are still affected by it or noticing anything different. With Poshmark, they never put out any sort of, explanation or word. I imagine it was more the AI that was affecting everything, because I know there was a whole thing, I don't know, probably about maybe in the winter sometime where, the whole copyright thing, well, Puma, the brand Puma, they enlisted AI to find out if anybody was listing counterfeit Puma items. And I know a ton of people that got copyright strikes. What do they call that? I forget what they call it on eBay, but a copyright strike for using counterfeit Puma items. And these were actual Puma items. And I had a few, and again, I was spared. I don't know, I think it's pure luck. They were saying that even though they were reselling a literal Puma item, that they had counterfeits, so they got a strike on eBay, and you know how bad that can be. That can get you kicked off the platform for life. So it turns out that they did have to reverse everything, and they employed this new AI technology that was just pulling any Puma and saying that it was counterfeit. So I guess, lesson learned. I imagine that's what happened on Poshmark. I imagine they employed a sort of AI technology that was completely wrong. And it seems that, I don't know, the reports have died down, so I bet you they kind of honed in on making that better, and now things aren't happening as much. So I was just curious where everybody's at with that whole thing, because it always seems like there's drama with Poshmark. So in the future I'll be making videos of what sold and things like that, so I'll get more into detail on the way I do things shipping wise, kind of getting around Poshmark's little details. And I find it frustrating sometimes, but that's okay. I love Poshmark. They are a part of my income. So anyway, I will share with you what I found at the thrift and at the bin liquidation store and listed. I just want to know what you guys love to list, and I love to list anything. So basically I'm an everything seller, mostly though clothing, shoes, things of that nature. By everything seller, I mean I'm not selling high-end merchandise. That's very difficult to find where I live. I live in a very rural area in Ohio, and our thrift stores are mainly, you won't be finding Gucci or Valentino or anything like that anytime soon. You'll find the basics. So I decided that my strategy is to have a lot of listings and have I have the room for storage. So instead of focusing on profit per item, I'm a more volume seller. Now, to get to the point I need to be, I will have to increase my listings by a lot. I'm almost at 3,200. My goal is about 80 to 100,000. And, give or take, I think that will provide, an excellent income of at least 10,000 a month. But right now I'm making it, it's, not that I can't make it on what I make, but I would love to, get to that level. So that's my goal. And that's my goal with this channel, to kind of educate you on how you can do this. And my stores are called A Home for Everything. It's been my motto since I started reselling and started rescuing items, that I find a home for everything. I almost feel like I'm giving these things new life, that they were destined for a horrible future and now they found a home. And I know a lot of resellers know, but I know a lot of other people that don't resell. I kind of educate them on the fact that we live in a society that throws so many things away. And those things end up in other countries, in landfills, and it's such waste, because I use things. I live this lifestyle. I thrift everything. I buy it for $1. I will not pay more than $1 for anything I wear or sell, with the exception of my daughter, because she's almost a teenager, and that's not really going to fly. I wish it would, but I do believe that there's a place for everything in this world, and there shouldn't be any waste. Whether that be stores, having seasonal items, and then the minute the season's over, it's gone. It's sent to liquidation. So I aim to find homes for everything. So with that, one of the first things I did find at the thrift this week, and remember, I don't pay anything more than $1. I will let you know if I ever pay more than $1, but it would take moving heaven and earth, because I do not want to wear something that costs more than $1. This was from the, liquidation. I don't want to sell anything that costs more than $1 unless it's truly, truly worth it. So this is a Chico's piece. It's actually made of silk. It's gorgeous. It's like a blazer jacket type thing, and I got it at Goodwill for $1. And I love it. It's beautiful. If I, wore clothes like this, I probably would have kept it for myself, but I tend to be more casual. I'm a more casual person. You'll have to excuse my clock. That's my bird clock. This is a New Day sandals. These retail for $23. I got them at the liquidation bins. They're a very nice place to go in my area. They're actually way out in the country, and they have mostly Target, Amazon, Walmart, things like that, and they throw them into bins, and you buy them for, Friday is dollar day, and they, the price comes down every day. So like Saturday's their full price day. I think it's like $12, and you could get a TV for $12 if you want to wait in line and do that. But I go on dollar day, of course. Let me know if you have any of those in your area. I think we have a few more elsewhere, but I have not gone to them yet. And this is another thing from those liquidation bins. These magic skirts, they're bed skirts for the bed. And these are, they retail for $30 a piece. I'm sorry about the glare. So great to sell on like eBay. This stuff sells pretty quickly for a good profit. And this I got at Goodwill this week. This is the Limited. It's this beautiful deer sweater. And I find that things like this, even though they're not a brand that anybody really looks for, and no one's putting in like the Limited, I need their sweaters, But I find that novelty prints like this with the deer, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's, Walmart brand. They sell really well for me. And this is another thing from Goodwill as well. I got this Jones, New York, and it's an all silk necktie. This is another thing I like to fill my store with. I love to fill it with small things that are going to be discarded. This was on the chopping block for the week. I go to Goodwill also on Dollar Day. So in my town, that's on Thursday, and I comb through every piece that is the color of the week. So last week it was yellow, and I got a ton of neckties that were all silk, yellow, everything $1. I got so many other good things that I will show in, upcoming videos. But this small little stuff, I mean, it's easy to ship, easy to list, and easy to sell. And even if you only make a $4 or $5 profit, that's still money in your pocket. And then we have a J. Jill tunic. It's a gorgeous piece. J. Jill is a bread and butter brand for me. It sells all the time. I don't keep a lot of J. Jill in my shop. This is just like a waffle knit, almost a loungewear sweater type thing. I did get this at the liquidation bins. I don't sell a lot of kid stuff, but it was just so cute. And I mean, it is art class from Target, and that usually sells pretty well because it's actually pretty expensive at Target. I think that one romper was $14. So you could still get a nice profit out of it. I did get these at Goodwill as well. These are wedge booties in faux suede. And I paid $1, and they have tags. So you can't beat that. And then lastly, what was listed today and purchased is again from the liquidation. It's a New Day, little heels, so neutral, and they sell so well. So I am just curious about everybody's reselling. That I want to learn on this channel. I want to show what I do. I want to save the world. So if you're in the business, or if you just like shopping hauls, because I do want to cover shopping hauls also for myself and, my family, be sure to subscribe. And until next time, let's all find a home for everything.